I'm Q with effingjeep.com. Today we're going to install a set of JKS Quicker disconnects on a Jeep Rubicon. This should be quick and easy. So you're probably wondering why I'm installing quick disconnect links in a Jeep Rubicon. Doesn't it already have an electronic Swaybar disconnect? True, but even remotely disconnected, the Swaybar links limit suspension travel and can cause a bind in the front end at full travel. So my solution was to install removable links. Well, why don't you just remove them altogether? Well, you need them, that's why, and I'll explain. Swaybars provide two main functions. The first function is a reduction of body lean. This helps keep the vehicle upright with all tires applying equal pressure to the road. The other function of Swaybars is to tune the handling and balance of a car. Understeer and oversteer behavior can be tuned out by changing the proportion of total roll stiffness that comes from the front and rear axles. When you're off-road, it does nothing but limit your Jeep's ability to flex or articulate. Even a Jeep Rubicon that has an electronic Swaybar control, suspension travel can be limited by leaving the Swaybar links connected. Here, I'll show you what I mean.
Okay, so I went over to Stomper Off-Road to see Jay and the boys and to play on their articulation ramp. Now, Jay Blazer runs a Rockstar shop, and if you're ever in Kansas City, you should check out his place. Now, in this image, the Jeep is on the ramp in 3 different states. In the image on the left, the electronic Swaybar is locked, and you'll notice the gap between the tire and the fender is pretty large, and I only made it to the 3rd red mark on the ramp. I mean, it's better than a Prius, but it still ain't going to cut it. In the middle image, the Swaybar is unlocked, and you'll notice the gap between the tire and the fender is getting smaller, and I made it to the 4th stripe on the ramp. Things are looking up. Now, in the last image on the right, the Swaybar links are completely removed, and the gap between the tire and fender is gone, and I made it to the 5th mark on the ramp. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get flexy, baby. Now, it may not seem like much of a gain going from 4 to 5, but it could make the difference between stuck and up and over.
Now, I chose JKS, well, because they look cool, and I'm a parts junkie.
Remove the old Swaybar links and discard.
Now, before you can install your Swaybar links, you first have to liberate them from their anti-theft packaging. Now, all kidding aside, this is a very dangerous operation and should only be done by trained professionals. Please make sure you have the proper equipment before attempting to open your package. Proper equipment would include a pair of safety glasses and a pair of gloves. Now let's get started. The packaging. And be careful.
Your JKS packaging should contain 2 upper links, 2 upper posts, 2 rubber washers, 4 clips, and 2 lower posts. Begin by installing the posts. You're going to need a screwdriver to hold them in place while you tighten them, blue Loctite to hold the nuts in place, the 2 rubber washers included in the kit, a 3/4 inch wrench, and a torque wrench. Now, at this point in time in most YouTube videos, you see some poor guy turning a wrench for endless minutes of video. Here at effingjeep.com, we assume that you already know how to turn a wrench and can follow instructions. This image shows the washer installed on the upper post. This image shows the lower post, and you'll notice that the passenger side has a flat edge on it. That's to allow room to remove the Swaybar link on the passenger side. Go ahead and place your Swaybar link on the post that you've just installed. And you can also install the clips. Make sure the clips are closed as shown in this figure on the screen.
Now, the last thing we have to do is lock this in place. But before we want to do that, we want to make sure this is parallel with the ground. Now, if you parked on a level surface, you should be able to do this pretty quickly. As you can see, it's 0.08 degrees. Now, JKS allows 5 degrees above or 5 degrees below. So I'm well within tolerance there. So we're good to go. Let's lock down these nuts, grease them as per the instructions, and you're ready to go.
You remove the clips and you slide them out, and then just remove the Swaybar link. But you're not done yet. Now on page 6 of the installation instructions, you're going to find this warning, and this is kind of important. With the sway bars disconnected, you're going to notice that the sway bar can move back and forth at will, and eventually it'll slide down to where it can damage the tire. You're going to want to correct this. So my solution was to build something like this. What I did was I went to the local hardware store and bought 1/8" quick links, 1/4" spring links, and a couple of washers. I drilled holes in the washers, and then I added links to the washers, and then I add the spring links to that. And I'll show you how to install that next. Now, we're going to have to drill a hole in the spring bucket to hold it up and out of the way, which should work for everything that we're doing here. So approximately just about right there in your spring bucket. Okay, so now that your clip's in place and it's going to keep it from sliding down, just go ahead and reinsert your pins and just store them on the posts. And you're ready to go. Thank you for watching this video from effingjeep.com. I hope you enjoy your new Swaybar links and all of the new functionality they're going to provide while you're off-road. Next week, we're going to be installing a Sprint Tech supercharger in this Jeep. It's going to be awesome.